firm believer that minority reports are appropriate. And I couldn't do the justice of the individual who voted no. So Doug's going to come up here and do a presentation on why he's voted no and opposes this.
Thank you, Jack. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It wasn't my idea to move this to this day and this evening and ahead of everything else on the agenda, which I did vote for. I want to thank Jack because his mentorship to a lot of people in this town and his knowledge of the budget and his service to the town is really to be commendable. His dedication is second to none. And Jack, I couldn't agree with you more on most things, but on this particular item, my slideshow needs to begin. On this particular item, I did some research because some of the things that you told me were true, and some of them I found that were kind of true. And here we go. First one. Thank you. Hey, let's start with HB 760. What's up there? They gave us an option. And while it doesn't affect anybody's taxes, it does affect people who bought their car already. Because if you own a car, it's going to change the assessment. Sure, a slight bit, but why are we worried about shifting the tax from cars to houses just a slight bit? Are you going to go back to the first slide for me, please? Thank you. All right, so my job's easy. It's to convince you to vote no, because no matter how you look at this, you're raising taxes on somebody's car. Okay, you're going to cut their amortization. You're going to raise it 5% from 85 to 95. Now, while that just drops the car to maybe 69% of its value, as Jack explained, you drive a car off the lot, your car is going to depreciate probably 50% the first year. But the state set this MSRP thing up to try to be equal and fair, as Jack said, and I do agree with that. However, it's not an ad valorem tax. It's not tax deductible on your state income taxes. It's not tax deductible on your federal income taxes. And why do we keep doing this? I knew this was going to be. If it's so small and insignificant, why is it important that we do this? Why are we being asked by the state legislature to tax our own cars when they didn't do it? They gave us the 85% amortization, but they're not giving us the 90%. They're telling us we have an option to do it. And while everyone thinks it's such a good idea, it's really a retroactive tax on the cars that we own already, raising the price, which is something a state legislature can't do. And there's no grandfathered class here of people who already own their car. It's not that people who buy their car in the future are going to be paying this new amortization tax based on a new amortization. And why has it been rushed through Hartford? It said the governor signed it on the 3rd of the month, but the fact of the matter is he vetoed it. He vetoed the part that was in the bill that, in my opinion, made it pass, and that's $40 million for special education. It passed the state legislature with a line item vetoed $40 million for education. And what did we get stuck with? Choosing for ourselves to raise our own car taxes when the state has, high enough car taxes already. We're number 3 in personal property taxes on cars. 27 states. Can we go to another slide? The next slide here. Okay, so we have an option. It's not a mandate. Go to the next one, please. The day that this passed, state legislature entered a bill that said he wanted to reduce car taxes to zero in the next 5 years. The original MSRP that the state legislature passed was done to lower car taxes in the state of Connecticut. And, town screamed that they wanted more tax revenue, and Darien can figure it out with our computers what our grand list is. But I'm pretty sure their computers can do the same. The problem is we're not. They're not. I'm sorry. They're not. They're capable of doing it. We're capable of doing it, but we're not being told to do it. We're given an option. And some people are going to see a higher tax rate. We didn't see what the mill rate was. We're the fulcrum here. You saw that teeter-totter in that last slide. We're the fulcrum. We're the springs. We're the ones that decide. It's our option, and we don't need to tax ourselves because the state legislature didn't do it. They gave us the option. Can you put up the next slide? It's certainly going to raise somebody's taxes when we do know what the mill rate is. And can anyone in here tell me what the mill rate's going to be next year or the year after? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? It's not going to go up or down because of this. It's going to go up because we need to spend more money as a town. I mean, our next resolutions we're going to vote on here tonight will be really quick to show you that we're going to spend more money. Okay, so that's a resolution. We went forward with this resolution 2504 tonight without reading it. But it says right in it that the town desires this. I don't desire it. I'm asking you not to desire it. The fact is that the governor vetoed the part that made this bill pass. And it was done as an emergency basis in the state legislature. Don't you want to know all the information? It was done without committee hearings in the state legislature. Nobody discussed this there. It was emergency. Here it was through a special meeting. Tonight it was put on the front of the agenda. Don't you want to know why? Why is this so important? It's insignificant. It's minuscule. It's modest. It's just a little bit. Well, that's how it starts. Next slide, please. I lived in Virginia before I lived here, and that state has today the highest property taxes on cars. We're number 2. Actually, we're number 3 right now, behind Nevada. But we're also the most expensive state for cars when you add the sales tax, because we have a full sales tax on cars, not a reduced sales tax, and then we have this annual tax on our cars. I mean, every state is in a race to the bottom. We're going the wrong way. 27 states have eliminated property taxes. Since 2006, the state of Connecticut's been talking about eliminating property taxes on cars. Why? Because it's environmental. Older cars pollute more. Discourages buying electric cars. Discourages buying hybrid cars. Makes the cars less safe. In Virginia, what they did is next thing they did is they passed a law that said everyone's cars need inspected. We need to bring our cars every year to dealerships to have them checked out and be sold rotors and new brakes and new tires because the cars were less safe. That's what high property car taxes results in down the road. Next slide, please. I hope you appreciate that I use green for St. Patrick's Day here. I saw Jack tell us, and Jack told us it was going to be revenue neutral. It wasn't going to raise taxes. But then I read the memo from Tony, our tax assessor, and in that very memo, it reads, the modified schedule will increase revenue by approximately $400,000, assuming. And assuming what? Assuming that the mill rate stays low. Well, how can we assume that next year, the following year? If you want to raise taxes, raise your hand, and I'll quit right now. Okay, next question. Next question. Next slide. Okay, there's our mill rate versus the other. We're the second one. We have room to raise our mill rate. We have room to raise our property taxes on real estate. We don't have room to raise our taxes on cars. Next slide, please. We're number 3 in personal property taxes on cars. We're number 1 in the states, most expensive states to own a car when you add sales tax in. They said there were 1,700 cars. I agree with that. But you see that slide? It shows the states that are also high. California, Virginia, Michigan, Hawaii. We're higher than Hawaii to own a car. Next slide. The facts do matter. The state of Connecticut does not allow tax deductions for personal property taxes paid to a town. This is not an ad valorem tax, so it's not deductible on federal taxes for personal taxes. Now, if you're a business, all these taxes are deductible. Next slide. So as much as I appreciate Jack and his work, I disagree with him on this. I'm not going to disagree with him on many budget items, but this isn't a budget item. He's asking you to raise taxes, and you don't even know how much. You don't even know the facts of how we got here. You know, why did we get here so fast? Why is this so important? I mean, we don't need $300,000 that badly. We can raise it from property taxes, which is where we have room to do it, and is what I would prefer. I don't have a dog in the hunt. My car is 15 years old. I'm at the 500 level, of taxation. So it's not because I own 5 cars or a collection of cars that I'm here. I'm here because this shifts the burden, and we don't even know who it shifts it to, or how much, or what it will be in the future. Now, if you want to go home and look in the mirror and see that speck of truth on your nose, that you raise taxes, and vote yes. But if not, join me in voting no tonight, because I don't want more pollution. I don't want registration migration. Today I was in Tweed Airport, and I looked at the cars in the parking lot. I'd say a full 30% didn't have Connecticut plates. And what plates did they have? They had plates from states with much lower taxes than us on cars. Just like we stopped boats, we stopped airlines many years ago from having these taxes. Why? Because they're movable. Well, cars aren't movable. Cars are just as movable as airplanes and boats. And people avoid these taxes, and only the suckers pay them, and it's wrong. We need to eliminate these taxes in the state. That's the direction we should be going. And Darien should lead the way and tell the state legislature, we're not going to vote taxes on ourselves because you are too afraid to pass a tax increase in the state capitol and want us to do it to ourselves under some pretense that it's small or insignificant when we don't even know. And I thank you for your time. Nice to be here.
Thank you. Great presentation. Are there any other committees that wish to report on this?